do? How did everyone learn about Desert Bus? How did you get involved, and what is it about participating that you find rewarding? I found out about it, I think a lot of people did, probably through... It was probably a combination of The Escapist and Penny Arcade.
Yep.
Because I had watched some of Loading Ready Run's stuff on The Escapist. And I got hooked up to them when I moved here and volunteered. And I mean, it's the highlight of my year, really. It's one of the things that keeps me going in this life.
Yep. It
is absolutely amazing. Dan, I'm actually curious to know how you have heard about Desert Bus.
God, I have no idea if I can place like when I first became aware. So we're like this is year 18.
Yes.
Which I feel like I already have. I knew about it while I was in college. Because I remember, like, me and a bunch of friends all lived in a house together, and I remember watching it from our like rec room in the basement. So that puts it as like at least pre 2010, because that's when I moved out of there. God, it's one of those things that just feels like it's just all, I've just always known about it.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, logically, I had to have learned about it through probably like Escapist, Penny Arcade, like, or just kind of general sleuths. One of my friends, who is probably in chat right now, has been watching for I think like at least 17 years.
Dang. Oh, gee.
Yeah. I feel like I was aware, like at least nominally aware of like the first time it happened.
Right.
Because it was like, oh, like, you know, Desert Bus, the game was kind of having one of those like moments where it was like doing the rounds on something awful and whatnot, and Let's Plays were big, and so I think, you know, and so we had that moment of like, it's like, oh well, we'll do a charity stream of just, it's like we'll just play it until chat stops donating and the hours run out, and so I think I was like nominally aware of that first year, but God,
Yeah. Okay. Great. Awesome. Mikey?
I remember, so I did a show on The Escapist with Anthony Birch called Anthony Saves the World, which was a Loading Ready Run, was starting out on Escapist, and I met them at PAX after they had made fun of the Borderlands like rock and roll intro thing, because they had that show where they'd like watch the intro.
Oh,
Yeah.
Unskippable.
And MSJ3K, yeah. Unskippable, yeah. And I was like, that was really funny. I want to be a friend. And then we were friends. And now I'm here.
Hooray!
The system works.
It does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Graham's a good boy.
True. Mine was, I've definitely told this story here, but mine would have been, I saw, similar to y'all, like one of the early like 3 or 4 or 5 through Escapist or Penny Arcade or whatever. And I had a wild 2011 where I had done a bunch of really fun and interesting things just because I like applied for cold emailed a bunch of stuff. So I had helped host a house show for Molly Lewis, and I had met Ashton at that, and we had bonded a little bit because we were both photographers. And then I went off and had this wild summer of adventure where I went to the New York Public Library Centennial. I went to the last space shuttle launch down in Florida. And then we were like, hey, like, let's actually connect and be friends when I get back. And he asked me what else I wanted to do. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to find more of this stuff to do, things that I think are interesting, email people, participate, see what's going on. Well, you've heard of this Desert Bus thing, right? And Ashton, thinking I'm doing a bit, goes, no, what is it? And proceeds to let me explain Desert Bus for Hope to him for like 10 damn minutes. Because he thinks I'm doing a bit. And eventually it dawns on him I'm not doing a bit. And I don't know who he is other than as a photographer. Because I hadn't tuned in that much. So like I had completely missed the Team Ashton versus Team Crows thing from DB5.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, there's this thing in Victoria, da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, I think we're loosely connected to it somehow. I'm just going to email them and see if they need a photographer. Because it's always a screenshot of the video game. and it looks like so much fun, and you just get the game, and that's not down there. And that's not as exciting as this.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he was like, okay, I thought you were doing a joke. I'm Ashton from Desert Bus for Hope. And I said, well, do you need a photographer?
Yeah, at that point, just accept
At
the
that point, I was
applause
just
from
like,
the
yeah,
audience.
I guess.
Tip
Excellent,
your servers!
excellent entrance interview. You're hired.
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah.
And now you're the president.
Yeah. And,
Wow.
Oh my god, yeah. I forgot about that part.